Hi, I'm Jessica from Jessica Wanders, and this is my May 2024 garden update. I didn't get quite as many things into the garden as I hoped, but everything is definitely growing. When we got back from our cruise, it looked like things had just sprouted and gone crazy. There was also a lot of weeding to be done. It's been a very busy couple of weeks. We'll have to catch up with the rest of the things that got planted after this video in the next update. If you're new here, I'll leave a link to the entire 2024 How Much Food Can I Grow series, a couple of changes that I'll talk about at the end to this challenge and some new things that I'm going to do, so stay tuned for that. If you do enjoy these videos, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. You can subscribe to see more videos from me or check out the join button for other ways to support my channel. Let's see what was in the garden this month. All right, we are finally back from our vacation, and I'll tell you what, the garden grew a lot while we were gone. Keep in mind, I have a whole lot of weeding to do for while we were away, but you can see where I've got some cilantro growing here amongst the weeds, and those just volunteered from the seeds that were left. I'll have to go through that and weed it, but this is tarragon. My spinaches are up nicely. Look at the lettuce that I divided up. They all did really well. I'm just about to harvest the leaves. I'll just take these leaves off and leave just a little thing in the middle. I love this red lettuce. It's so yummy. So I will be harvesting that. Our radishes are coming along. They're still a little bit too small, but they're coming. And that'll be bok choy. My strawberries have flowers on them, and so do the blueberry plants. Are looking good. The birds usually come and eat them all. This is May long weekend-ish. Yeah, May long weekend. So I took a trip to get some more plants. I didn't start seeds inside this year, so I didn't have any plants to transplant, but I did buy some of what I think I need. This is my garlic chive. It's gonna flower pretty soon, but you can just mow it back and it'll grow some more chives. The raspberries are okay, and we've prepped some more beds for beans and dry beans. I think this is, I always forget the name of this one. Those are turnips, and I'll have to voice over it because I always forget the name of what this is. Maybe it'll come to me. So the asparagus that I planted, it's alive. It looks pretty good, but I'm letting it kind of root this year. There's little tiny flowers on it. Look how beautiful. Tiny little asparagus flowers making tiny little asparagus flower seeds, and the birds are coming and eating them. But you see, this one doesn't have any more left on it. The birds are coming and eating the seeds. It's kind of cool. I don't mind. This horseradish that I transplanted fairly well because it looks pretty healthy. I don't really know how to harvest it, but I thought I'd let it kind of root in there for now. Seems like it's pretty healthy. These onions that were from last year look like they're doing okay too. There's not really much onion in them. You could green onion them. Maybe I'll save them for seed. They look like red onions. So I might save some red onion seeds from those. These are the onions that I separated and planted, and they're all doing really pretty well. Not too many of them. Maybe a couple of them died. Seems like I'm missing one right here, maybe right there, but they did fairly well. These ones are those white Spanish onions. And then over here are Walla Wallas. I didn't have very many anyways, but it seems like the ones that I transplanted are all doing okay. These are various bunching onions, green onions, and at the back are leeks. This bed is prepped for peppers. And I did pick some peppers up. We'll go through that. In here, is there any carrots? There's a couple of carrots. It's been so wet and cold here. Yeah, you can see them. Carrots are really hard to see.
Can you see them? I don't know if you can see them. Here's one. Oh, carrots. You don't want to weed this bed. I never want to weed this bed before I can really clearly see the carrots because they're so tiny. Like, that's a carrot. It looks like there's some areas that are good and some that aren't. Remember I planted some saved seeds, some older seeds. Oh, I have little markers. That was a good idea. That was a good idea. Yeah. Saved seed carrots. And then back here, looks like I have more here. And these ones were, so the saved seed carrots, some of them look like they're up. Yeah, well, I might let them go. I'd be so impressed if my saved seed carrots did well. So that I might let them try. Look, this is the one that looks like it's getting actual carrot leaves on it a little bit. They're so small, so small. Oh, those were the brand new imperators, and these are the red cord chantenay. I had some leftover seeds here too, and these ones look like they're coming up. I might try and get some of these weeds out before they have roots that are too big on them. Well, that one worked well. Jeez. If you let them get too big, then they pull the carrots out with them. So it's kind of good to get them out. Carrots are tricky when they're this size, but they look pretty good. We did lose one cabbage, and that's it. Just the one we planted here died. But all the rest of them, look at them. They look so awesome. These red cabbages are so impressive. The leaves seem very sturdy. We've had really good, I think, cabbage growing weather. It's been cool and so much rain. I'll have to start checking for cabbage bugs because I've noticed the white cabbage moths have been flying around a lot. Sometimes you just look underneath your leaves and you can see if they plant little seeds, little eggs on them. Then they sprout into bugs, and I just squish them, just repeatedly squish them. This bed has a lot of this chickweed in it. I'm gonna have to go through and weed that. And these are my garlics. They look really good. I'm looking forward to some garlic scapes. I made some pesto and stuff with it last year, so I'm looking forward. They'll come up pretty soon. We have prepped this whole back area for corn that I'm going to get in the ground today or tomorrow. This is going to be, it's going to start raining again. It's really raining on and off. This is going to be tomatoes. I picked up some tomato plants. My potatoes are all up, even this one, which has just been a little bit slow. It is starting to break through. Woohoo! Starting to break through the top, somewhere in there. There it is. Yay! Those are all my potatoes that I planted from what was left in the basement from my downstairs potatoes, but I have bought some more. I'm going to put them in a section of this bed over here that we've prepped. The peas look like they're coming up. I don't think that's as many peas. We can't find inoculant here anymore, so I feel like the peas don't do as well as they used to with the inoculant, but you can't buy it anymore. I feel like I planted a whole lot more, but at least some of them came up. And then once they get a little bit taller, I'll put some mulch down and we'll see how they go. So like this one's pretty big. And we'll have to put some kind of netting down to help them get up to this trellis because I don't think they'll get there by themselves. It'll just be a floppy mess. Also, I'm going to do beets in this bed with the potatoes. More strawberries, more half-dead blueberries. I should trim off the dead stuff from that one. And then over here, I don't know if I mentioned in the first how much food can I grow, but I thought this rhubarb had died, but it looks like it is starting to put up sprouts, which is kind of interesting. It might be struggling a little bit, but this one is growing. I don't know how much actual rhubarb I'll get off of that. It doesn't look very big, but I might take some rhubarb. Why not? Make some pie or something. make some pie or some jam. All right, I had to run inside because there was a little bit of splattery rain going on. These are all the plants that I picked up to put into the garden. I spent $109.07 on all of these plants. First, I picked up some bulk potatoes because I'm going to put them over in that row here. And the ones I had in the basement left were just a little spindly. So I picked up, this is a different kind. I wish I could remember what kind it was, but it's not Yukon Gold. It's not Red Norland. It's one I hadn't tried before. And they looked pretty good. So I'm going to throw them in there. Just some more potatoes. I don't even think that I got everything. It was so crowded, crazy on Victoria Day long weekend. It's like the planting weekend here. Everybody puts everything in their garden, whether they've grown it from seed in their house. Victoria Day long weekend is the weekend for tomatoes and peppers and melons. They actually didn't have a great selection of melons. They had cantaloupe, but they didn't have watermelons. So I didn't get that, but they said they have some coming this week, so I'll have to check back. I got some things I wasn't planning on getting. I have had to add them into my garden plan. I wasn't going to do artichokes, but then I saw these Imperial Star artichokes, and there's 2 of them in this pot, so I'm going to plant 2 of them and see how they do. I'm pretty excited about it. If you buy them in these small 2-inch pots, they were only $1.99 each, so I got peppers, all my peppers, some tomatoes. I tried to get as much as I could in these 2-inch pots rather than the bigger pots because those ones were more expensive and they'll grow really fast. I'm not worried about it. But you see here that I got these 27 smaller ones for $1.99, came out to $53.73 for all of these smaller ones. And then, the bulk potatoes cost $2.25. That was nothing. And then these smaller 2 vegetables, these are the flats of vegetables. They were each $5.99. That's these ones right here. Kind of a big flat of six plants in each one. These ones are, I got pickling cucumbers. I don't have any more pickles that I have canned, so I wanted to grow some pickling cucumbers this year. I've got 6 in that little flat. And then here, on the other side, these ones, broccoli maybe? Yeah, I picked some Italian green sprouting broccoli. That's 6 because I didn't start them inside. So I'll put those in. Broccoli. Love broccoli. And then, of course, yes, this artichoke. And then these bigger plants, they just cost more money. Here's a cantaloupe. 6 at $4.99, 1 at $3.99, 1 at $1.99, and 2 at $5.99. So they were slightly different prices. This is a pretty small cayenne pepper, but it wasn't in the smaller pots, so it cost more. I got cayenne, well, 2 cayennes, a Felicity. I can't remember what, I can't even remember. I think it was a yellow, like a green pepper. I'm pretty sure. And then these tomatoes, which are falling over. This one was a cherry stuffer. That'll be like, I call them cherry bombs. Mr. Wanders likes to stuff them with feta and things like that. They taste pretty good. Bake them in the oven. But they're like round and you can core them out and stuff them with stuff. Cherry stuffers. This is also cayenne. And this is also cayenne. So, lots of cayennes. We like to dry them for pepper flakes. Need lots of cayennes. I assume that these Felicities are like a green pepper. I'm assuming that's what they are. I couldn't find the one that I normally like, but I did get some more in these smaller pots. Here's a YOLO Wonder Sweet Green Pepper. I got a few of those. I got these sweet banana peppers that I like. YOLO peppers. Excellent. I got a whole bunch of cucumbers. I got Market More kind of plain cucumbers. I got pickling cucumbers, and I did get some long English cucumbers as well. I'm just trying to see what do we have for these peppers. Super chili. I don't know what these are. Super chili. Hot peppers. I was trying to get some of the Thai peppers. They had lots of peppers. There, Thai dragon hot peppers. Yummy. Making sure that I put them back in the right spot. Big Bertha green bell peppers. A couple of those. Hungarian wax. I do like those for pickled hot peppers. Habanero's the habanero. Here's a habanero. Habanero red hot pepper. Sometimes they have yellow ones, but that's the best. They just had carts and carts and carts of habaneros and some crazy hotter ones like ghost peppers and stuff like that. We don't grow those. Can't eat them. So I got some cherry tomato type things. I got a variety. So I got these yellow pear. I love those ones. They're so yummy, and they do really well here actually. Super fantastic. Definitely a go-to. That's just a regular tomato, but it's a indeterminate, so I'll have to string it up. Somewhere in here there's better be Roma tomatoes because I tried to buy Roma tomatoes. Sweethearts tomatoes. Sweet Million. Oh, those do really well as a indeterminate cherry. Flies. What? I am not a flower. I know I look like a flower. Thank you. I'm wearing. Oh, they went straight to the strawberry plants, and I'm wearing a white shirt, so that's probably the confusion. These Sweet Million are very good producing cherry tomato for sure. Where are Romas? Romas. I know that I picked up some Roma tomatoes. Here they are. Romas. Roma. Roma. Fantastic. Super Fantastic does really well here too, but Roma. I didn't want to be stringing too many this year. I don't know. They're such a you have to pay so much attention to them when they're strung up. Well, I got a couple of zucchinis. I got some pickling cucumbers. Oh, and then squashes. Because I didn't grow any squashes. Then I bought a bunch of seeds. But then it's hard when you're there. Everything's there. You just want to buy everything. If you're like me at the plant store. I did get some dark green zucchini. I got some patty pan. These are called Peter Pan squashes, patty pan squash. And then I got two spaghetti squashes. I thought I got an acorn or something like that. But I'll plant the seeds that I have too. They didn't have any kind of good looking pumpkins that I liked, but I just plant them in hills anyway, so we'll get that done too. So that is it. That is everything that I got at the garden supply store. I didn't get my flat of marigolds. Usually I get a big flat of marigolds and then I just kind of put them everywhere around the yard. I don't know if it works, but I think that it keeps bugs down a little bit. So, and they look pretty. So I will pick up my flat of marigolds once I get everything into the garden. I'll show you what it looks like when I'm done. Thankfully, I did end up with far fewer tomatoes than last year, which was my goal. I wasn't sure I got enough cherry tomatoes, but I do have 2 yellow cherry tomatoes up here, a pear-shaped one, and a I don't think it's called Sun Gold. Sun Sugar. I love these yellow cherry tomatoes, and I got 2 more different kinds back here as well. The Sweet Million is a cherry tomato. This one is Sweethearts, is also a cherry tomato. I got 4 Super Fantastic tomato plants and 4 Roma tomatoes, which is a lot less than we did last year. It was just kind of overwhelming how many tomatoes we had, so I'm happy to kind of scale it back a little bit, give them a little bit more room. They're mostly indeterminate, so I will have to string them up to this trellis. Have to do it for the cherry tomatoes anyways. We'll see with the Romas. I might be able to just cage the Roma tomatoes. It doesn't really say on the tag whether they're indeterminate or not. I don't know. We'll let them grow. First I take all these leaves off so that I can bury it as deep as I can, because tomatoes will make new roots all along the stem. So if you bury it deep, it'll create a good solid root system. All right, I'm properly spaced. I'm going to add fertilizer and bone meal to each spot. A little fertilizer and a little bone meal. If we're planting the whole beds, we'll add this to the whole bed, but if we're just planting individual plants, I just like to add it to each hole. Just break up the roots a little bit so they have an easier time getting started in the hole. There they are, all tucked into their row. I'll put some cages on them and some strings. Tomatoes. Hopefully less tomatoes this year. I didn't get some of them quite as deep as I wanted to, but I did the best I could. I'm going to do exactly the same thing with all of these peppers. I've got habanero, some spicy Thai things, some banana peppers, and then some green peppers. And then I think those ones back there, I think they're a weird name. I think they're green peppers too. These tall ones are called Felicity pepper. I think I'm hoping that they're bell peppers as well. And then cayennes as well. I'm gonna do exactly the same way, except that these ones I don't plant deeper than they're already growing. There's disagreements about whether they'll grow roots, but I haven't found that they grow roots along their stems. So I don't bury them deep. I just bury them, where they're growing already. I found that it didn't really make a difference. Some people think that they do. I tried it and it didn't work for me. So I'm just gonna bury them and then I'll put cages around them for my peppers. Same thing, a little bit of bone meal and a little bit of just regular garden vegetable food fertilizer in each hole. I am going to trim off the bottommost leaves on each plant, these little baby leaves, before I plant them. Just these ones. Just go through and trim those ones off. The very, very baby ones, very, very carefully. There they are, all in. There was a little bonus. I forgot that I picked up these hot Hungarian wax, and in the little thing that I bought, there was actually 2 plants, these hot Hungarian wax. I thought I only got 1, but I split them up. This one seems very small, so I'll be happy if it grows. This is the bigger one. I'll give that one a shot, see if it makes it. I don't know. But there they are, all in their places. I'll put cages on them before they get too tall. These ones are actually pretty tall already. Get a cage on them right away. Peppers. I thought I got here in time, but I didn't. They're pretty early though. Can you see those little white dots there? They do just come right off, just like that. And I'm gonna wash all the spinach, but if you let them hatch, they become leaf borers, and they do this. They eat the inside of your leaves and leave it kind of like papery and thin, like that. That's disappointing. You can see them. There they are. See the little tiny white eggs there? Those are leaf borer eggs. And they will hatch and eat out the inside of the leaf. They come right off. Okay, this is all my spinach that I harvested. The first thing out of the garden. I'm so excited. There's a little bit of leaf borer eggs on the leaves, on some of the leaves, but I'm gonna wash it up really well. I just wanna weigh it before I get it all wet. So, same bowl, gonna zero this, and that's how I'm gonna measure all of my produce this year. No, no, the wrong mode. Okay, we don't want it in grams. We want it in pounds.
pounds and ounces, just because most of you are in America. So we'll switch it over for you guys. 1 pound, 1 pound. I'm gonna round. I'm gonna round. 1.1 pound, 2 ounces. It's just so much easier to add it up that way in pounds and ounces instead of points of an ounce. So I'm gonna round it up to 1 pound, 2 ounces. And there it is, the first harvest of the season. Spinach, 1 pound, 2 ounces. Harvest 2024. I'm still getting things into the garden. I still haven't picked up any of my herbs for my containers or anything, but already I'm harvesting out of the garden.
I need some cilantro, and there happens to be a ton in the garden. I'm gonna try to use some. I think this one up here maybe is a little bit bigger before it bolts to seed.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure that this cilantro is gonna register as any kind of weight. We'll see. It's not very much. Okay, zeroed. Oh, it's 0.1. There you go. 0.1 of an ounce of cilantro. Yay! Smells good. I don't really like the taste of it, but it's not so horrible. I guess some people say it tastes like soap. I think it kind of smells like soap, but it doesn't bother me so much to eat a little bit of it. 0.1 ounce of cilantro. I thought just for fun, I would share the first recipe that I made with stuff out of the garden. So just a quick little quesadilla with some homemade guac. I made some avocado, and I had some leftover canned peas. So I made a pea and avocado guac to go with my chicken quesadillas, and I used up some cilantro from the garden. Avocado, some scallions, these leftover canned peas, lime juice. Salt, lime juice. Chicken. We have cooked chicken, cheese, onions that I'm going to put on the inside of these quesadillas. However much cheese you can afford to put on top of there is a good amount of cheese. I fried up those quesadillas in a pan in a little bit of oil, and then I added some salsa, sour cream, the guac that I made, and sprinkled it with the cilantro from my garden. This year I thought it would be fun to kind of price out the amount of produce that I grow. The last couple of years, I just totaled up the amounts that I grew in the garden and included how much I had spent on the garden. But I think this year what I'm going to do, also that, but this year what I'm also going to do is try to price out that amount of produce when I harvest it. So when I harvest a bunch of stuff, I'll check online, see how much I can buy that amount of produce for. I'm hoping to get kind of an idea of how much I spent and then how much I saved, or if it actually cost me more money to have a garden than just buying those things in bulk when it's in season. So be able to look at how much I spent and then how much it would have cost me to buy it anyways. Maybe it's not that much cheaper to grow a garden after everything's said and done with fertilizers and plants. This year for sure is the most expensive way that I do a garden, because we bought plants. I didn't start any plants from seeds, and we had to do some soil amending as well. So it's kind of a good year to compare to see if doing it the most expensive way is even, if it's even worth it. Is it cheaper? Is it still cheaper to grow a garden even if you're buying plants already grown and a lot of fertilizer and stuff like that? So I had a lot of trouble finding the amount of cilantro that I grew on sale. They just sell it in bunches, and they don't tell you how much the bunches weigh or anything. They just say a bunch of cilantro. So might be a little bit tricky, but I might get a general idea anyways. If you like that, let me know in the comments below, and we'll continue doing that. Yeah, let's see how much I could find the spinach for.
Fresh Express was on for $9 a pound, and their Western Family brand was $17.90 a pound. Walmart had the smaller and larger ones at $15.90 and $12.80. I was really surprised that the Fresh Express stuff from Save on Foods was the cheapest. I was really expecting Walmart. Bigger container of spinach from Walmart is the second cheapest one. But I'll average that out at $9 a pound because that's the cheapest I could find, which is pretty cheap right now. I think I'll just make a note of the price, the cheapest price I found for it when I harvested it, $9 a pound. And then when I total it up, I can just total it up and that amount. Because I could have just gone out and bought a pound of spinach or however much spinach I'm going to end up harvesting from the garden. I can just go buy it and do whatever I'm going to do with it anyways. And we'll see which way is cheaper. I was hoping to get a few more plants in the ground and filmed for this video, but it's been so rainy and the weather's been so poor. We'll have to catch up to see how those plants are doing in the next garden update. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. You can click my face to subscribe to see more videos from me, and I will leave links to the entire 2024 garden season videos up there, as well as anything else that you might be interested in. And I appreciate you all so much. Thank you so much for being here and watching, and I will see you next time for a June garden update. Bye.